All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the draft is quickly approaching here. We're looking at early mid-April, only a couple weeks left before this thing kicks off, and I cannot wait. But in this one, I wanted to talk about the potential trade idea for Las Vegas Raiders tight end Michael Mayer, who the team is reportedly shopping. I think when the news initially broke, there were a lot of people that were like, whoa, like all of a sudden, 2 years after being selected high second round, some people thought he was a first round pick, right? Joe Douglas actually had him ranked in that first round as like a mid first round prospect. If Will McDonald wasn't there, Michael Mayer could have been drafted by this Jets team mid first round. So when you hear a guy like that, like, whoa, still on his rookie deal, he's not really being paid all that much money, there's untapped potential, he's still in his early to mid 20s. Yeah, that should strike up some interest. But with Mayer, it hasn't really transpired as of yet. And I think really the big reason why is because it's pre-draft. And this draft class has a lot of good tight end prospects, right? Elijah Arroyo, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Fannin from Bowling Green, Taylor from LSU. There's some solid tight end options. So it's like, why give up a draft pick to go bring in a guy with 2 years left on his rookie deal and hasn't really had that much production over the first 2 years when we can go out and hand pick a guy on a 4-year cheap deal, right? And we can kind of get him into the system and not really have to ask the question, okay, what's gone wrong? What's been the issue so far? Things like that. But I think with the Jets specifically, looking at Michael Mayer, the Jets could very well tackle the tight end need. And look, it's not to say that Michael Mayer is like the long-term option, because admittedly, objectively, the numbers haven't really been there these first 2 seasons. 48 catches, 460 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns over the 2 seasons. And he also took some time away from football last season, and I don't really know the details of what happened and why he stepped away. I don't really think a lot of people do have that information, so there's really no point to speculate about it. But it's still an intriguing option nonetheless, right? If Michael Mayer wants to continue playing football, man, this is someone who I go back to that draft profile, right? Coming out of Notre Dame, just reminded me of that old school typical tight end, right? Where he's a big bodied guy at 6'4", 260-ish. Again, kind of like that early 2000s, mid 2000s type of tight end, where he's just like that very traditional type of player. Good hands, good blocker, smart player in the passing game, right? Knowing where the weak spots are in zone coverage. He was very, very good at contested catches, but kind of lacked with like that overall quickness to his game. It's not like he's like, Brock Bowers, his teammate with the Raiders right now. It's not like he's one of these like new age types of tight ends, for lack of a better term, right? Where he's more so on that athletic side and he's like receiver first, then tight end, or he's like a big receiver, so we just have to play him at tight end. No, he's very traditional in the sense where he's going to be bringing to the table a lot of the same skill sets that we saw a lot of the good tight ends have in those early 2000s. So really what I think it comes down to is the compensation here, right? If the Raiders are like, hey, we'll take a day 3 pick, we'll take a conditional pick, I would really, really consider this. But if they come back and they're like, oh no, we want a second rounder, we want a third rounder, I think I'm going to pass at that point. Because again, you could just go out and select for this Jets team a starting caliber tight end in those top 3 rounds, arguably in the 4th round too. It's not a guarantee that all these guys are going to be day 2 picks. And also too, you can argue, okay, the Jets can just hit the draft, go BPA, right? Go out and select the players that they want. If they come out of the draft without a tight end, then you trade a 2026 draft pick to the Raiders for Mayer. And it's like this sweet added bonus, brand new player who's still really young, has a lot of potential, hasn't really seen a lot of NFL action. It's kind of like an extra draft pick, right? On like a shorter deal, if you kind of want to look at it that way. But again, we know how much the tight end position is valued in Detroit with Sam Laporta, Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrand, right? All these guys coming over from Detroit. We know Justin Fields likes to utilize the tight end in the passing game, involving Cole Kmet and Pat Freiermuth a year ago. The tight end vacancy has got to be addressed in one way or another. Draft, trade. Could Michael Mayer be that guy? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Is this something that you would look into personally as a Jet fan, or Are you like, you know what, I'm really focusing in on the great route runner of, in Fannin from Bowling Green, or the athletic upside in Arroyo from Miami, right? Someone like that. Or are you still 100% Tyler Warren, round one, pick 7? Trade back Colson Loveland, maybe. There's a lot of different avenues that the Jets can travel down here, but I think it's a good problem to have, right? Again, a young tight end who's on a cheap deal, getting shopped by his original team. Could the Jets take a flyer here? I think it's definitely worth a call. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.